Welcome back, everybody, to What's Cooking Today, the nation's food, wine, restaurant, travel, and entertainment program. I'm Paul Stern. That is Erik Hines and Michael Horn at our assignment. And What's Cooking Today was broadcasting this past weekend from the 20th anniversary 2010 Santa Barbara County Celebration of Harvest.
Oh, yeah.
It takes place at the Rancho Sisquoc Winery up in Santa Maria, California. And joining us here for kind of a wrap-up and review happens to be the executive director of the Santa Barbara County Vintners Association, none other than the inimitable Jim Filik. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Hot dog.
Hot dog, Jim.
Hot diggity dog.
I tell you. Well, I tell you, for those of you out there in the worldwide audience of CRN who have never met Paul Stern, you have to meet this guy. So if he's speaking somewhere, I want you to go see him because he's a cat, man. He's a cool cat.
Hey, let me tell you, Jim, you guys really knocked it out of the park with this year's 2010 Santa Barbara County Celebration of Harvest. This is quite a raucous event.
Well, I tell you, I had to put a lot of money in escrow for that weather.
Oh boy!
It is a great, it's a great thing because the site really is important in these events. I mean, the wines really draw people there, but there are, let's face it, there are wine events that our members participate in as well. There isn't another event where every single one of our members participates in other than our April festival. So there are two members where every single one of our members participate in. This is one of them.
That is an incredible feat and an accomplishment in its own right.
But well, thank you very much. But it's our members that do that. However, there's only one where you get that view of the San Rafael Mountains in the background. Beautiful. With the sun sort of brushing different colors on it. I mean, it's just, and I noticed that there were a lot of people just sitting there watching that, going, you know what, this is a great way to watch a day.
Oh, absolutely.
It was beautiful to me to see people actually slow down, and I think this was the most well-paced festival I've seen out of the 20 out at Rancho Sisquoc. It just went beautifully.
There is something to be said for the way you guys do it in Santa Barbara County.
Well, I think honestly that it really is. It's part of what we call Alma. I went to Jesuit schools, and so I had Latin Alma, which is not only nurturing, but you can dig down in the root of the word alma, and there is a nurturing the spirit, to incite the spirit. And then with the Spanish alma, soul, our alma, what other people call the terroir, we have an alma in Santa Barbara, and I think you saw that there.
Absolutely.
The people who decide to move here and live here, that alma comes up through their feet and grows with them in the vines, and the wines that are produced, the people who produce them and the vines that produce the fruit sort of share that same alma, and I mean it is, you got to see it in 3D.
I mean, there are a lot of wine events to definitely attend throughout the country. There are wine events that are very stuffy in nature, that people are a little uptight, very tense. There's wine events where people are just, let's say, just the absolute opposite, where they're so loose that it's almost, let's just say, uncomfortable.
Animal House.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like amateur hour. But then there's what you guys got kind of going on up in the kind of a little bit of in between up there in Santa Barbara, where it's not only kind of relaxed, but it's organized and it's under control, but at the same time, it's Santa Barbara County.
Well, and we were so happy to have you there. I mean, and I'm embarrassed after all these times speaking with you that you and I had never met, and so now it's. I'm not saying it's going to be monthly, but we're going to get together. I mean, it was really such a treat to have you there, and you'd asked a question, how harvest was going, and I mean, it was kind of hard to say. Well, look around, but you had thought that maybe with the celebration of harvest that harvest was finishing. We're just barely in the middle of it, and for people who live in California, and for the rest of your audience outside of California who may have looked with various news agencies or weather reports saying that we had rain, we had this. We had a very cool summer here, which had everything slowing down, and then we had this week and a half, 10 days of very, very warm temperatures, which got everything ripe and right to the spot of we need to pick it. And then this cool temperature came through, so it actually, the rain that we had may have done, I haven't heard yet, but may have done some damage in isolated areas. It may have deteriorated some of the cellular structure of the skins and things. I haven't heard that, but that's typically what rain does. But the other thing it does, those cool temperatures sort of shut things down a little bit and gave people a chance to get in and pick the ripe fruit in time before it gets too ripe. And so what people were saying was, how lucky could we be to get everything up there ripe and then turn off the switch? It's sort of like having toast in the toaster, and you get it perfect and it shuts off but keeps it warm. So I mean, it right now we're looking at 10 days of not hot but warm weather, so that the plants don't shut down. So we still have almost all the Syrah to get in. We still have all the Bordeaux varieties, which are Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Malbec, Merlot, Petit Verdot. We have all those to get in. There's still a fair amount of Chardonnay to get in, so which is typically earlier. Chardonnay just got tweaked out this year. The other Rhone varieties, Grenache, Mourvèdre, which are the two bigger ones besides Syrah, still need to come in. So there's a lot of harvesting left to do in Santa Barbara, but things look really good. The harvest may be smaller than it was initially intended or projected, but if that, I don't know if that answers your question you asked me on Saturday, because I think I left you out in the middle of nowhere. I walked off and then I didn't see you the rest of the day. But
now, Jim, we're going to go to a quick break here, but I think it's important for our listeners to know that just because they missed the 20th annual Festival of Harvest doesn't mean that it's too late to get out there to Santa Barbara County, enjoy some of the great weather, great wines, and the beautiful terroir of the area. Right, Jim?
Absolutely. I'll tell them how.
Okay, excellent. Hang in there, buddy. We'll be right back after this break.
Much more on what's cooking today to come. I'm Paul Stern. That is Erik Hines. Word here, word to your nation's food, wine, restaurant, travel, and entertainment program. Right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
CRN travelers,